In we go for some cliffside. Crackety's first game of the day on his fabled Byzantines up against what I believe to be a certain core. It's either core or Avali. It's a player from Germany. They rank around like 90th right now in the world, but on average, they usually rank 60 to 70 each season finish. So AOM player here in the blue playing as HRE. So Crackety playing the really broken Civ, and then AOM player playing the Civ that Crackety tries to tell us is really the broken one. Should be a fun one, actually. HRE versus Byzantines on Cliffside isn't a matchup I feel like we see too often. We'll usually see a lot of Byzantines here, and occasionally sprinkling HRE, but not often the two versus each other. And it's already getting spicy. Look at this. The Dark Age Spearman Rush. Well, we've been saying this for a while, right? Mongols are dead, long live HRE. They basically do the outpost rush better than you in a lot of ways, if you think about it. It's more sustainable. You get it out a lot quicker as well, right? 40% buff to your economy. The 1.38 movement speed instead of the 1.25. It's not a bad idea. Second Spearman also being queued up. So do we go up to 4 here? Oh my god, we do. It's a 4. What is this spawn? Oh my god. Dude, this is a war crime. Like, I've been praising Cliffside. I actually was saying to one of the map developers, I think it's very close to being on the level of practically Dry Arabia. But then this spawn happens. 1 gold forward, and I assume this was the secondary? That's brutal. Now, Crackety does have the Akratoy. He's being very smart about this. You save it until the second spear. You can't commit it straight away. And there it is. Activates it. Gets on the backside. Spearmen are going to be able to get a kill, though. Not too bad from Blue. And decent out of time achieved. However, this is pretty expensive what Blue's done. They've moved out into the D. What? That's kind of wild, considering if they kept going, I think they would have been able to block out gold indefinitely. Now it's a little bit weird. I mean, also, you have got 11 sheep, so I don't know if this was entirely necessary out of Blue. So one of the villagers goes down. Ground Winery now coming up. Crackety. Oh my god, it's happening. The villagers on the way. If this outpost goes up, I actually think Crackety might just GG. And the problem is, I'm pretty sure this is on the very edge where Grand Winery built won't see it. In fact, it won't matter because Grand Winery won't get the vision until it completes. Scout comes around the back, though. He knows. But without Akratoy, and without an idea of how many spearmen are coming behind this is difficult. He has only one choice. The reaction is going to be an outpost on the outpost. An outpost to outpost the outpost. Blue is going to start stabbing. Unfortunately, that delay, I mean, this is crazy. I think their mistake was that they didn't just stick on the sheep. By going on the deer, long-term better, right? But short-term, you've got gaps. Spearman count isn't as good. Grand Winery almost complete now. Villagers are going to try and fight up against this, but remember, no Akratoy still for another 50 seconds, but it looks like Crackety should be able to get the outpost up quick enough because of the lack of additional spears here. Maybe? Probably? Surely. No. You can't do this. He's going to get it. I think Blue, that's unfortunate. If he'd attacked the remaining villagers, that outpost doesn't go up. Still, this is proven expensive. Crackety now down 3 eco against the HRE. The upside, it's scam HRE. Unless they build their arc in here, half their economy is not going to be buffed. Yeah, he's going to have to build a second prelate. So Ark and Chapel now on the way. Outpost is trying to be dropped on the gold. Nice interception. But double spear should be able to scare this away. In fact, I'm a little bit perplexed by the fact that Crackety's trying to fight this right now. He's getting outplayed. Okay, who is this really? Is this Core? Because he's playing sick. Oh, dude, come on. You're going to make him post another YouTube video. That's 4 villagers down. Akratoy just got activated again. Spearman does go back into his death, so a little bit of a waste there. Could have gotten a 5th, but now you forced your opponent to build another outpost. You haven't lost a single villager. Yes, you've lost some spearmen, but more than worth it between the idle time and the kills. Magic got missed it with an a VPN. You'd think due to the AOM player thing. I could genuinely see either Avalil or Core using this name, though. The reason I'm going Avalil or Core is because these guys, whoever they are, they're playing from Germany. That's what I'm basing this on. Oh, this game's wild. Tech up complete. Archon online. I imagine we'll be going straight into archers here. Not a bad choice, because in the event your opponent goes Javelin contract, you're going to be able to surge more archers and he'll get jabs. Crackety thought it was magic. He could be right. It could be a VPN. Like, I should know better. Like, I used to be able to just tell who it was based by the country on their profile. This is kind of my own fault for selling a lot of people on VPNs in the scene. Whoever this is, though, they are flexing pretty hard. What a wild, wild build. Does he just fast castle now? Surely not. I think you have to play feudal here. If you spam the archers out, jabs, like, they are effective in small numbers, but the whole idea is you flood, right? And you have to go jabs, by the way, if you're Byzantines. If you go Lombo contract, you dive in quicker. We've seen this before, right? Like HRE versus English. English always lose because HRE just spam archers and run you down. Integrated advertising? No, don't buy a VPN. I'm not sponsored by them. I can say that. This is my channel. They don't pay for the rights for me to say something alternative. There's a lot of food actually being floated by blue. Are they just going to end up in castle anyway? This is starting to look a bit of a bait, right? A small group of archers distract and then go up. Crackety really isn't taking the bait, though. He's going for a tech up as well. Hasn't even committed the olive oil yet. Well, loop me up, Papa. He is now. It's Lombos. So this contract has a very interesting dynamic to it. I actually think it's worse against HRE and Feudal, but better in Castle. The reason is you're able to scale Lance Neck better than HRE. Like, order of best civs at doing Lance to worst is Order the Dragon, Byzantines, HRE. When was the last time you saw an HRE player successfully execute Lansk? They just feel way too glass cannony and too expensive, right? But when you're just paying oil, not too bad. The issue is in the now. Lombos versus archers is something you should never win. Not with the marching drills. The only reason he might win this is because it's not a full commitment. It's only a handful. And also that outpost is way too aggressively placed. Crackety's going to try to run to it. Has to actually micro away the rest before they die. The problem is with marching drills, against no wheelbarrow, this is just pure death. Luckily for him, not quite enough archers to get the kills. Yeah, and a little bit of a weird aggro there, right? Trying to block out the villagers heading for the outpost. Didn't work out in the end. Crackety is going to keep his dreams alive of getting out of this nightmare. Castle Age will be on the way soon. In fact, their timing should be more or less mirrored here. Love the scouts positioning here. Blue just trying to get as much free information as possible. In fact, he should see any play to go for a tech up. No. Just out of range here. You could just run in quickly to scout this, because typically with this type of build, you build the Golden Horn Tower right next to the TC, right? But I think he already knows it's coming. Regnant's Cathedral now on the way on the other side. Mirrored, practically neck and neck, right? 2 to 4 seconds maybe between them. And remember, they're both going to have an ability to start rushing relics here, because you've got the Grand Winery, you've got the Regnants. Both of them allow you to get your hands on your religious units. The advantage, of course, for Blue is the fact that you've already got Prelates from the Feudal Age. He's already on the move with them. Okay, this actually worked out beautifully well for Blue. The crazy part to me, this is a bit greedy. They didn't even get wheelbarrow for all that time. So that was quite an inefficient walk home for him. Central Relic is at least going to be guarded. I think you could play for flank relics pretty easy peasy here if you're Blue. What the comp's going to be? We haven't got stable drops yet, right? You theoretically could just keep pumping archers. It's not the craziest idea here. But it looks like they have got knights at the back and men-at-arms on the way. Tech out completely on the other side. This should be probably a double Rax drop, and you want to start spamming Varangian. It sounds kind of wild against HRE, but it's actually not that bad, folks. The Varangian are pretty effective due to the production rate more than anything else. You tend to kind of outboom your opponent, because although HRE has a better economy, they don't inherently have buildings which are better production. And also, remember, in this matchup, that eco lead isn't as big. It's 40% on the buffed villages in range. Meanwhile, anyone in range of assistant at this stage is going to have a 14% buff. Relic being snuck, but not snuck well enough. Wait, Crackety. Okay, he has at least got a Monk out in the center. I was about to say, that was about to be Monka S in that situation, pulling the entire army. So Relic is going to get blocked over here. Blue is already up to 4 of these Relics. I think he should be moving out for the west side already. Yeah, 1 coming here. No one is shuffling over to deal with that now. With a Knight in the mixer, Crackety has a problem here, actually. Even with the veterancy, like, you're not really designed to deal with Knights. He's going to start peppering. But if Blue just brings the archers in behind, it should be quite the walloping. Okay, that was sick. Crackety on point with the micro. Plays him like a fiddle. Doesn't even let him get 1 or 2 kills here. Archer follow-up actually hasn't been upgraded at all. All right, my mistake. I thought we had vets coming in. I wasn't paying attention to that. Blue throws away a lot here and gets nothing for it. And the men-at-arms just get ignored. Oh, that's harsh. And the wolf as well. Are you actually kidding me? He's running. He's not going to be able to run far enough, though. And while the distractions are on here, it's carving up the map elsewhere. It's going to be a 2-2 relic split at this rate. 2 relics now in the corner. Everything to play for here. Another knight comes out. The men-at-arms as well. This will be enough to clear Crackety up. But he's already prepping the switch. Varangian coming out. Relic in the corner can at least be queued up. And I think we should have another Relic coming out shortly. Scout in the meantime is going to sniff out where the economy's moved. So Crackety has to take risks here, right? Like, he can't just full farm transition on the Olive Groves. He needs the more efficient pump of Mercs initially, right? Because it's good to have Varangian, but you need a backline here as well. But that is going to leave him a bit exposed. And that means these Knights can still find value elsewhere. Varangian versus HRE men-at-arms doesn't seem like the right comp. You'd be surprised, actually. Varangian can win that a lot of the time. It's the production rates. They're pretty insane. Add in the fact that anytime you're outnumbered, a good Byzantine player will berserk and you lose. Because if you're outnumbered, the Varangian are able to trade quite well with berserk. And then on top of that, we're talking about, like, you know, at the moment it's a 1.38 versus 1.38, but once Teardrop Shields comes in, that drops down to 1.12 attack speed for the Varangian. And also, you always have to remember, this is a 2 damage difference, right? Like, you've got 1 extra armor, 1 extra damage. You do admittedly have less health, but it always comes back to that detail of mass. You typically will see a Byzantine player mass a lot more Varangian than an HRE player can men-at-arms. Right now, that is not the case, though. Blue has the numbers lead. Varangian coming into the clash. Another kind of crazy detail is the blacksmith speeds, right? And there we go. Berserk gets activated. There's no heavy maces. Not enough Varangian either, though. It feels like you're just going to start losing this fight quite quickly. Mistakes made, and Crackety realizes it. Immediately, the moment the heavy maces come in, he runs for the hills. But the problem is the moment you retreat, you lose this game. 1.12 movement speed versus 1.24. Varangian have to turn around again. Gold about to get idled up. This is bad right now for Crackety. I don't know who this is. I really don't. I'm convinced as well that I do not think that this is one of our players from Germany. The playstyle just feels a little bit different. I like the idea of magic here. I could genuinely believe that, and it would line up with the name as well. Good fight. Some more villagers killed off in the meantime. Behind this, what's the choice going to be, Blue? Are we looking for fast imp? Or are we looking for all-in castle? They've slowed down the queue up of more men-at-arms. They have got heavy maces on the way. And interestingly enough, they're now prepping horsemen. This is a very intense food-focused lineup. Even for the HRE. Men-at-arms spam plus horsemen at 50 eco with no Swabia bumping up behind is very difficult to maintain. Flash near the home of blue. Horsemen are now on the way. Level 2 ranged armor is pretty smart here. These Lombos are merely going to tickle. I actually think this is the worst case scenario for Crackety. Level 2 ranged armor in a game where he's only got Steeled Arrow 1, right? Like, his comp, the backbone of it really is Lombos now. I mean, you're basically turning these men-at-arms into giant porcupines, right? They've got so many little bristles sticking out of them before they die. Good micro overall from Crackety. I was actually impressed with that, just sniping down 2 at the same time from the flank. And it looks good right now, right? If you're Crackety, you have to be feeling very confident. My worry is if you spot this Horseman transition or not. Because if you don't see it coming and you walk towards the base, you're going to lose the Lombos. He needs crossbows? Actually, funnily enough, Crackety kind of needs spears. He just doesn't know it yet. I feel like it's not often you see an HRE player switch into Horseman this early. Landsneck would be pretty good. Landsneck would actually solve the entire comp that Blue is running. Love the fact he snuck a Knight Scout out here. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to find any exposed economy. Smart choice by Crackety. Pulls the loose eco back when he's diving the enemy base. And here we go. Springs the trap. Horsemen come out to play. And bad news for Crackety. Oh, no. And he knows it straight away. Activates the Berserk to try and defend himself, but it's not going to work here. Sick timing attack by Blue there. The patience paying off. And an immediate GG called. What a cool game. I need to know who AOM player is. It reeks of Magic. I could believe it's Magic, but I don't know for sure. All I know is they are an absolute pleasure to watch.